Right, before we start to think about texturing and the last of the modelling, let's have a quick look on what on earth we're talking about with rendering and with the cameras. So this is in real life, when you talk about other programs being used to do this, this is quite often a job all in itself. You get the modeler doing one thing and you get somebody else doing all the lighting and rendering and the camera and all the rest. But we're going to do most of it here. So the first thing I'm going to do is go up to environments. Now what you've got hidden away in here is all the different other parts to Inventor. You're probably very familiar with these. 3D print is interesting, didn't know that was there. And we've got Inventor Studios, that's what we want to go into. If ever we're in here we don't like what we're doing, we hit Finish Inventor Studio and we are out of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is loading image-based lighting environment. So the first thing I'm going to do is, well, you could just render an image out. I usually don't, but you can, so you see what one render looks like. Which is pleasing, but we're nowhere near finished yet, so that doesn't really matter. Close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a camera to begin with. So my camera, you definitely want on perspective, that makes me happy. We're going to target it here in this corner and pull out to here somewhere. And now we're going to hit OK. Now this is one thing I've never really understood about Inventor. When I hit render and when I go to camera 1, this is quite obviously upside down, which is just frustrating. So close. Let's go fix this problem. So I'm going to select the camera, right click and edit, and on here it's 180 degrees in the wrong direction, so let's hit OK. Now let's re-render and just check it's actually in the right place, which it is. Okay, so the position is not correct, or it's not what I want, so I'm going to pull back a bit and just have a look at what we're like position wise. So I'm really thinking of an image in here somewhere. I don't want it at 45 degrees because that's a little bit too obvious. I'd like it vaguely at the right height for a person. It's probably a little low, but that's fine. As a rule, I'll right click and go to edit. As a rule, you want it to be, let's just pull this over here, about 1.8 meters. That's the height of a human, or height of a human male. Let's pull this up about there. Now if you don't tick this, it won't do it. Okay, so that's starting to be what I want. Not quite. I think it's a bit too close. Yeah, that's too close. So you need to pull back a bit, please. Okay, I just did something that I did not mean to do. Try that again. Edit. You. That's a bit better. Let's just see what that's at. Starting to get close to what I want. And I mean, that image would work. Most people will figure that out. But I really want to show off the cushions here. So let's pull this back out to about there. That's a bit better. Still not sure about it. Let's go back out. So up slightly. Tick. And let's pull this out a bit more. Okay, most of that I'm happy with. It still has to come over to the left a bit more to make me happy. So the way the rendering seems to work now is we just keep pressing this button as many times as we want to to get the render we're after. Can't even remember what material I put on that window because it's not see-through, but it actually kind of looks quite good. So I'll claim that was all part of the plan. You can see these cushions are not lined up. That's what I wanted, so it was obvious they were kind of being moved around, which is perfect. So I'm going to put a vase on here. I'm going to put a picture on here or something, some sort of decoration. I might even put some blinds or something across here as well. That'll be the last of the modelling. Close. So what do I not like about this? This camera needs to move this way. Let's try this. Okay, so that's me relatively happy with the view. Now the reasons for doing that, as I've done in many videos in the past, and it's not my idea, it's something I've watched other videos and people talking about. If you don't sort out that view very early on, once you've done your very, very basic raw modelling, you can spend horrible amounts of time making assets that will never be seen. That's probably about what I want there. Tick. And that's the last thing you want to do. Ooh, is that too much? Let's see. Yeah, I think that'll work actually for my render. If you do that early on and you sort out exactly what you're going to see, you're then concentrating on stuff that's actually going to go through to your final image. This is not going to be used for a computer game, for animation, for anything like that. This is going to be used for a single image. So the less time you spend modeling pointless things that are never going to be in the final image, the more time you can spend on the things that will. You know, for instance, there should be another cushion here, but you don't see that in the final image, so I'm not really very interested in that. That's fine now. You know, a lot of people will spend time fixing this, they'll spend time putting in things over here. At the end of the day, if I put in even a couple of books here and I put in a vase here, that's time better spent than doing things that are not going to be seen. Also, you know, yes, you can put more than one camera in, but you know, after you get to about 2, you really got to start to ask yourself, am I wasting my time here? Because unless you're doing something very specific, you've been asked to do something like that, chances are it's not going to be necessary. So let's look at a few other bits. So this object here, which is I can't remember what I called it, it's a unit. Let's open this up. So right now it's on a generic material. I don't think I want it wooden. Ew. Wood flooring? Not really. Wood shake? No. Don't even know what that is. Kind of like the idea of a white. It's very, very classic, which can very often mean boring, but I do quite like it. Stucco? Nah. Don't know what most of these are. A lot of this is guessing and playing. Well, certainly for me it is, because I'm a modeler to heart. I'm not really much for the rendering side. Slate? No. Spruce? No. Fieldstone? I don't think so. Concrete? Not really. Bamboo? Birch? Brick? No. Argon? No. Oh, I like that, but it's no use. Let's go back down here. What did I see a second ago? quarry tile, wood shake. Let's just see. Right now we're in Autodesk. Let's just try the Inventor one. I might just stick with that for the moment. Now, a little bit more on the modeling side. This is okay. I think I'm going to put handles on it, but there's issues, and the issues are these need to be chamfered or these need to be filleted. I would suggest a fillet. Long story short, fillets will make almost anything you do look better. The way most of these programs work is based on lighting as far as the rendering goes, and the way light hits corners is quite odd and quite specific, and if you don't do them a certain way, people will look at your object and think it's wrong. They won't be able to tell you why it's wrong, they'll just be able to look at it and say that's bad. So I'm just doing it to here, and to here, and to here, and to here, because these are all the things I'm going to see. I'm not going to, well, I better do this bit here just in case we see this as well. And the smaller the better. If you don't believe me on the fillet thing, go look around the room and find how many fillets you can find. You won't find many. Oh, sorry, without a fillet. Because everything is filleted, even on a microscopic level. There are very few 90-degree corners in nature, and even in engineering there are very few true 90-degree corners. Even though you think there are, there's not. So let's just use that. These definitely need handles, and I'm still not particularly happy with that shape. I think I might put a cut under there. It might look a bit better. Ah, while I'm here, I'd better do it. So let's put a sketch onto this. And let's put an arc from... gotta think about this. So, we've got the middle. Don't want this arc to be huge. That could work. So we're going to mirror you with that mirror line. Apply and done, and we better put a line across this, otherwise Inventor will stress out. Finish sketch. Extrude that and that. Oh, there's a little bit in the middle, I didn't mean to get that. Cut. No, let's not do that, that's rubbish. Edit the sketch. Oh no, we are editing the sketch, good. So really what we want is that, maybe. Oh no, very much not. Let's just see this. No. Right, the first time we just did it poorly. That looks better. Let's mirror that across the mirror line. No, still not winning. Let's see. Could do it circular. Or let's try something else. Let's delete you. And let's put a line here. Let's project geometry off that surface. Let's set this to a nice sensible number like 100. Put another line here. set this to 100, and now there we go. Actually, I better not finish that sketch. Better still put a line across here. Please extrude, please extrude, please extrude. And distance to next. Okay. That is not what I wanted. Distance to that, please. Okay. Now let's add in a work plane between here and here. Let's mirror this piece onto this. No. Let's mirror this feature U on that mirror plane. Better. Yeah, that's starting to look vaguely believable now. Let's hide our work plane. You can delete it, I tend to hide them just in case they're needed at a later date. Let's break this up as well. I wonder if it'll be nice and let me extrude that. Oh, it does. To you. Okay. Now, thinking hard here, there would be a lip underneath here for the handle, so you could pull these drawers out. Now, how would you open these? Realistically, if we bring this work plane back to visible, what I would probably have is I would have on my design a line not nearly that big, and I would have another line here, and another line here. What's that distance there? Let's make that 115. Let's make this distance 115. And finally, we shall use the arc again. Is that a bit big? Yes, that's very big. Let's just go to there. Take a line from there to there. Finish sketch. Go away. No, I need the work plane a second. Extrude. Please extrude. Please extrude. Yes. Except I want you to delete distance to that. Okay. And finally, we are going to mirror that with that work plane. Okay. Now, strictly speaking, I should be putting in the undercuts for the handles, but I'm not, because I think at least now that it's vaguely explained to the eye how you could grab a handhold, I think that's better than it was before. Because I can't even see most of that, which is fine. So I'm getting to the end of the modelling. I want a vase. I want a few bits and pieces in these shelves. I want probably curtains here. And once I've got those things, I'm on to lighting. So I think we can get those things done in the next video, and then 10 or 15 minutes of lighting and a bit more texturing. And we're starting to get somewhere. Now, there's the other issue is you really can use other rendering packages. To be honest, for this type of quality from Inventor, I'm happy. I'm not going to whinge about this. There's a little bit of graininess, we can fix that with other ways. But this quite impresses me. I mean, I'm a 3ds Max fanatic, and I can do better on Macs, but not hugely better on Macs. I mean, that's quite nice for a simple little render. Yep, a little bit more work to do, get some modelling in, then sort out the lighting and a few other bits. Excellent. One more render. Starting to look quite pleasant. Close this.